two-way sports talk telephone number. Here's Bo in Atlanta. He starts us on He's on Mad Dog Unleashed. Bo, good afternoon. How are you today? What do you have for me?
Hey, man, how you doing? I love your show, I really do.
Hello, Bo. Nice to talk to you now. What do you have for me?
Hey, look, this thing about UCF, man, what a lot of sports fans don't understand that there's a little concept called strength of schedule, which is the strength of your opponent. And as I was explaining to my 13-year-old son, who's, by the way, a great football player, I said, you're 13, but if you're beating up on kids who are 5 years old and you're 10-0, okay? You're 10-0, great, but you're beating up on 5-year-old kids. But if you play against other 13-year-olds and maybe 14, 15-year-olds, you're not going to be 10-0.
That's a good point. So, that's a good way to explain it. Yeah, very good, Bo.
Yeah, you're not going to be 10-0. So you look at it, they're undefeated. You look at the opponents they played. They had one signature win against Auburn, I believe. I don't really follow that squad. But there's just no way they should be in the playoffs. No,
100%.
A crew team.
No, I agree. Yeah. They beat an Auburn team that was a little flat. I'm not taking anything away from UCF, but let's call it like we see it. Auburn lost that bad game to Georgia. They got beat up. Don't forget, Auburn finished the year with Georgia, Alabama, Georgia. Now, that's not that easy. And UCF finished the year with Memphis, Navy, and some other godforsaken team. I mean, don't compare it. And not even the same. And the wear and tear of a season hurt Auburn. Now, they played 10 times. Auburn beat them 8 out of the 10. And UCF's a good team. They got a dynamic little quarterback. They have a good defense. Frost is a good coach. They got a good little team. But and if they want to parade around Central Florida and at campus today with T-shirts saying we are the undefeated national champion and have a little parade and have the president, put out give him a day off, sort of do a Fox Day. That's what we used to do at Rollins. Give him a little day off. Go ahead. You can do anything he wants. Now, I don't pay too much attention to that, but if they want to do that, the world's not going to end, and the fan base will get all pumped up. And there will be a time, I think, in our lifetime where that kind of team will be able to make the Final 8 and see what they can do against quality competition 2-3 games in a row. See, anybody can go out there for one game and, put together a humane, a tremendous performance and win a game. Do it 2-3 games in a row, which is what Alabama does, which is what Auburn and Georgia do. That is Clemson. That is different. And I'm not sure if UCF has the depth or the wherewithal that they can pull that off. Here's Nick in Albany, New York, and he says hello, and he's on Mad Dog Unleashed. Nick, good afternoon. How are you today?
Hey, Dog. Thanks for taking my call.
You got it, Nick. Thank you. What's up?
Dog, I agree with you that Tomey is a Hall of Famer. 600 homers gets you in.
Right.
But I don't know how you separate Tomey from other guys in the steroid era. Like Bonds, McGuire.
Well, because Tomey didn't do steroids. I mean, it's simple as that. I mean, Tomey is a guy who was never, ever linked to steroids in any shape, way, or form through a trainer, the Mitchell Report, anything. He's clean. So his 600 home runs means a lot more to me than, say, Sosa's 600 home runs, who, beefed up, bulked up, and, cheated and hit all the homers. Tomey didn't do that. So from that perspective, It's different for Tomey.
Are you confident that Piazza, Bagwell, guys like that?
No, I think they cheated. Absolutely. Now, I don't vote. I would not have voted for either one of them in the Hall of Fame. I would not have voted for Pudge Rodriguez in the Hall of Fame, Nick. I'll be the first to admit. There are probably 4 to 5 guys in the Hall of Fame already who cheated and were morally corrupt. Those 3 specifically. And, but I can't do anything about them. I can't do anything about anybody because I don't have a vote. If I did, they would not have gotten my vote. If anybody cares, but Tomey is a guy that is clean. I don't see any link whatsoever. And I wasn't a huge Tomey fan, but 600 home runs clean is 600 home runs clean. You got to put him in the Hall of Fame.
I just think it's so hard to make that call, Chris. That you got to go by the numbers and who you think deserves to get in.
Well, listen, Sammy Sosa did steroids. All right, we all know that. So McGuire did steroids. Bonds did steroids. I mean, this is not a court of. This is not a courtroom. They're not going to jail. This is the court of public opinion, and they have baseball has allowed this to fester for so long, and they have put the onus on the writers to make the call, and it's very tricky. And you got 500 guys who have votes, which is way too many. The voting process in the Hall of Fame is ridiculous. The idea that there are 500 writers voting for the Hall of Fame is absurd. There should not be 500 people who vote for the Hall of Fame. I mean, there are newspapers out there that have 10 votes. Now, how can any newspaper in the country have 10 votes for the Hall of Fame? Guys who cover NHL hockey have a vote for the Hall of Fame. That doesn't make any sense. It's great. New York Post has 10 voters for the Hall of Fame. As the New York Post, they got guys who write for the New York Post who cover badminton, and they got a Hall of Fame vote. How is that? Why? Because one year they happen to show up at Shea for 10 Met games? I mean, and they get the vote forever? That's absolutely absurd. I don't have a problem with the Post having votes, and they should have a couple of ballots every year, and then Post can decide how they want to divvy up the ballots. They want to rotate them. They want to give one ballot to a Met beat writer, another ballot to a Yankee beat writer. Whatever they want to do is fine by me, but they shouldn't have 10. And that just goes for everybody. And I think the voting procedures are a disaster. But you do got to get 75%. Even if there's 500 of them, that's still a lot of votes you got to get. And Tommy's going to get that. And Chipper's going to get that. The other four are going to be interesting. John in Florida, and I think Guerrero's going to get it. Somehow he didn't get it last year. Here's John in Florida. He's on Mad Dog Unleashed. Johnny, good afternoon.
Hello, how are you today?
Hello, John. Nice to talk to you. What's on your mind now?
Happy New Year. I'm the first time calling. I spoke to my son Christopher down in Tampa. They just talked to him yesterday.
Yeah, he's a good call. Yes, I know him. Good job. Go ahead.
In any event, I'm calling about the football player. I think it's like another perspective on this. I think that they really should go to a not an 8, but a 6, and give the top two a bye. The same way you have like with the NFL. The fact that somebody coming in at a number 8 is get the same pass as something at a number 1, no advantage whatsoever.
Well, there would be an advantage because in the first round, the 4 quarterfinals, I'd have the team with the better record host.
Yeah, but you're still playing the game with the disadvantage.
Yeah, but you're playing it, but you're playing it on the road, and in college football, road and home is a huge deal.
Yeah, but I understand all of that. But if you really want to be, to me, the fairest way is if you really have two top teams, let them have the advantage, because healthy teams win. With the Alabama getting that week off because they didn't win in their conference. That was a major advantage. And we talked about it during the broadcast about that the team was healthy since September. So that gave them an advantage over Clemson not having to play that championship game. They got a major advantage.
Although Clemson didn't really break a sweat, 38-0 over Miami. It wasn't like they were in a war.
But you still got to go out there and bang bodies and stuff. That's to me. I'm just saying, healthy bodies are an advantage this time of the year. I think that's my opinion.
No, that's not a terror. Gary Danielson feels the same way. Bring 6, top 2 get buys. He's done it the same way. I don't think they will do that. I think if they do bring 8, I think they will have the top 4 seeds host. 1 will play 8, 2 will play 7, and so forth. And I think there will be a home game for the top 4 seeds. And I think that would help. I think that's a huge advantage in college football. Alabama would never lose to Auburn in Alabama. They lost in Auburn this year. Georgia would beat Auburn at home. Home field in college football is a huge deal, much bigger than it is in the NFL. Much. And I think if they did that, I could understand that to be an advantage for the higher seats. And I think down the road, one day we will have that in our lifetime. Here's Chad in California, Mad Dog Unleashed. Chad, good afternoon. How are you today?
Doing good, Doggy. How you doing?
All right, Chad. Nice to talk. What's on your mind now? Fire away.
Just want to weigh in. I think you're spot on with the quarterback play, as far as the playoffs go. You can even kind of extend it out to, Goff, who, was up and down last year, and he played much better with McVay. And even Matt Ryan come up at MVP season. He's so hot and cold. So I think you're right with the quarterback play. What stands out to me is the talent at running back in the playoffs. A lot of these teams, they're stuck. They're running back, obviously the Bells, McCoys, and Gurleys, even down to the young guys like Kamara and Fournette. And when I look at it, that just makes me scratch my head when teams like, Detroit and Green Bay, who have, good quarterback play, good wide receiver play, and they just are running back away from really having an unstoppable offense. And yet these teams who went out and drafted a running back this year, the Fournette with Jacksonville, McCaffrey with Carolina, Kamara, and even, Minnesota when got cooked. All these teams made the playoffs. I think the running back is coming back in the NFL, and it's starting to show in a big way. And I just don't know why some of these teams aren't taking notes and going out and getting their team.
Well, I think you're going to see Barkley be drafted high. We know the 2 quarterbacks are out now, and I think you're going to see Barkley drafted high. I think there's been a new feel of the running back. Kamara is excellent. for the Saints. I think he's coming on Friday, if I'm not mistaken. Eddie was going to work on that. We'll see. He's not coming on now? I thought he was coming on. What happened there?
I couldn't answer all the questions you wanted. Is he a fan of the show?
Well, I want to,
Who booked him?
I mean,
what's he want with us?
I don't want to sit there and promote, chicken soup.
That's what we're about. So,
the day of a playoff game, this is not about promotion. This is about going out there and breaking down a ball game.
He came on Sunday Drive this year. We got him.
Was he good?
He was very good. Really. He's the kind of guy that's accessible now. And then, in 2 or 3 years when he gets to be big time, he'll be like, that 2-minute interview on NFL radio? No, thanks.
All right, here you go, Eddie. Put him up then. If Steve says he's a good spot.
He's actually good.
Okay, we'll go with it. Steve is up in Bedford today. Yeah, good line, thank God. Didn't venture in.
Yeah, no.
But he's here.
See, now everybody knows you're lying, right? Because we tweeted out a picture of me here in the studio with my Colorado hat on, so everybody knows that you're full of garbage.
Steve. First off, 4 people saw the tweet that's from a week ago.
I don't think so.
That's right. You're the Twitter king. I forgot. How is the weather? Is it snowing up there still, Steve, or no?
I haven't talked to my wife. I would assume it still is.
Were you able to get the driveway shoveled or not?
I haven't been home yet, so I'll let you know when I get home. I'll text you.
Where are you doing a show from? The downtown bakery? I mean, I don't understand.
Want me to throw this stapler at you? They'll know we're here together. You dumbass. There we go.
You're funny, Steve. What a fraud.
Good. Fraud. Speaking of frauds, jeez.
Well, I'm here. What are you talking about?
How was baseball today?
Not bad. Bob Nightingale.
Did you have like a ballpark cam, like where it was snowing at Fenway or something like that?
They did have it outside of Secaucus a little bit today. We did a lot of Hall of Fame today because it's an interesting year. They got the 3 who should make it in Guerrero, Chipper, and Tomey.
Right.
And then you got the 2 or 3 who are really on the fence, and that being Mussina, Hoffman.
Mussina seems to be getting more steam.
Yes, Mussina, Hoffman, and Edgar Martinez.
Don't you think Hoffman's going to get in? I mean, as much as you and I can't, don't
he
like
is
it,
not a Hall of Famer.
But he's going to get in.
They have those 3. And then you have these steroid guys in Bonds and Clemens.
Who are also sort of closing the gap.
Yeah, they might get to 60%. So you have about 8 to 9 from a standpoint.
What do you think the maximum number will be this year?
I think they're going to get the big 3 in. I think Edgar will make it. And I think they're going to have 5.
And the 5th being whom?
Well,
maybe Mussina?
I think Hoffman will make it. Mussina will be a little short.
Yeah. You're probably right.
That's what I would.
Edgar should get in.
He's only got another year or 2 on the ballot.
Yeah,
so if
it's
it doesn't,
be close.
And he was only 58% last year, but right now he's polling above.
Yeah.
I think he's polling at 80% right now. There's the picture of Secaucus, New Jersey, right there. See it?
Oh. Very good.
I think that is Secaucus.
Is that current or is this from earlier today?
That is Secaucus. That's where the MLB Network is. I don't know why. Why is he? Oh, I know why. Because it's time now for our favorite little show, Intentional Talk. That's why they show it.
I see.
And there's Chris Rose.
And neither one of them do it from the studio.
Yeah, Chris Rose is in L.A. wearing a ski hat. So there you go.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, Millar just got off the golf course.
In Austin, Texas.
Yeah, there you go. Very
All right, good for them.
Now. You doing okay? I know you broke down UCF today, so you got wrapped up in that a little bit. That bothers you that they had a little party down there with the shirts?
I just think they went a little bit overboard.
What's the big deal, Steve? It's a little program. They're trying to get a little notoriety. They're in a tough state where they have to recruit with Florida State.
Let your record stand for itself to get some notoriety. They had a hell of a year, and he's it's too bad they lost him because he looks like he's going to be great with Nebraska. But they had a hell of a year.
It's about getting the players, Steve. In Nebraska, got to get the players. It's about getting those players. There's a lot of players in Florida. There's not that many players in Nebraska.
You don't think he'll turn it around? His alma mater?
Listen, I agree with you. If anybody could do it, it's him. But I'm going to have to see that. And they're recruiting against Big Ten schools, UCF.
It's amazing how the Nebraska program has fallen, huh?
Yeah, well, it's not, again, you can't get it's like a little bit I think the best Nebraska can be is like a Wisconsin. Big offensive lines. I think that's the best they can be in this day and age.
Interesting.
Now, I might be wrong. I mean, and they need a dynamic quarterback. We'll see if they can get one. But they've had a million coaches in there for a long time who've done nothing. So why all of a sudden is Frost?
People are confident that he can get the job done. I mean, he did a hell of a job turning around Central Florida.
No, I mean, again, he got the players. I mean, there's a lot of players in Florida who play football. There's a ton of players. It's a huge state. And he got it. And UCF's always been pretty competitive. It's not like they've been, they didn't come out of nowhere. They've had some.
Well,
they've been
from when he took over.
I mean, George O'Leary won a play. He won a postseason game. He won a bowl game too. Won the Fiesta Bowl that year, and he had Bortles. This is not like a situation where they've been disastrous. They have had success
since he took over. He did a nice job turning them around. But we'll see.
But George O'Leary won a bowl game. When did he win that game? About 5-6 years ago, 7 years ago, maybe with Bortles at quarterback.
I'd have to look it up. But probably in that range.
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago, right?
Sure.
And I brought that up before. You are in a good situation because you have Indiana basketball to get you home in those winter months. I brought this up a little while ago on the air.
I heard it.
And Hayden has Maryland, and you two are close anyway, and you're joined at the hip, and you have Indiana.
Sure.
And you'll have the NFL football, and truth be told, you'll be a little bored by the games, but you have the NFL football, you have the championship game Monday
Playoff
night.
games, I'll be bored.
And then once those, well, you've done so much football, you almost burned out.
I'll be psyched for the playoffs.
And then once that is over with, you will have, you'll watch Tiger, not the tournament. You'll give the scores on Australia, but you won't watch the tournament. You don't watch the NBA very often, not this time of the year. And the Knicks now stink, so you're going to get off them. So you really, between now and conference tournament day, when the Big Ten ventures into the Garden, you will essentially have Indiana basketball to keep you up. I guarantee you know this. When's the next Indiana game?
Saturday.
And who are they playing?
Minnesota.
Where is the game?
Away, on the road.
What time?
It's in the afternoon, late afternoon, maybe 4 or 5
Is it
o'clock.
on television somewhere?
I don't know. I would, might be on CBS. Would CBS? Would that conflict? Who has the first game? CBS? No, ESPN does. It might be a CBS game. I have no idea.
So there you go. But you knew where they played and who they play after that.
I have to. They're home, but I have to check.
So you know
I don't
they're
know off the top.
So
of
you
my
know the
head.
2 games top of your head right there, just like that. They play Monday night at home. They used to play Monday night games. They play Monday night.
I have to check. I'm not exactly sure.
But you know when? But yeah, that's a
Colorado plays tonight against 4th-ranked Arizona State.
So
Bobby
now
Hurley's team.
So now you're wrapped up on.
Well, they're not good either. Indiana's having a down. Indiana's not going to make the tournament.
But it gets you home in January.
Yeah,
and
but I
February.
watch. I'll
the
watch a lot
other
of
games. College gets you home. No college basketball.
Yeah, I like
the
it.
other sports does not get you home. You won't pay any attention to golf. What tournament's being played this weekend?
I don't know, but Tiger's playing on the 25th.
Again, what tournament's being played this weekend?
I don't know.
You have no idea. Is there a tournament played this weekend? They take the weekend off because it's January 5th.
I honestly don't know.
Right.
Do you?
Yeah, of course I do.
What do we got?
They play the Kapalua. They play the Tournament of Champions event.
I see.
Which began probably 2 hours ago. And if you were smart, and Spieth plays in it, if you were smart, you would tell me what the update is.
Yeah.
It began 5.
You got nothing for me.
It's that's right now. It's 11:37. That's a great golf course. And right now, you should tell us the scores in that event. Do you have that?
I don't.
Okay, so you don't know anything about the golf. All right.
No.
When's the Australian Open begin?
Well, in a couple of weeks.
When? What date?
On a Sunday. The night, what is it? Let's see, the 21st?
No. The U.S. Open does not. The Australian Open does not begin on a Sunday. And the 21st.
Well, Sunday into Monday because of the time difference.
No. When's it begin, Steve? What day? Give me a day.
Is it the week before the 21st?
You tell me. I don't know. I'm
I
asking.
guess if it's not the 21st, then it's the 14th.
So you don't know.
15th.
You don't know. Make a long story short, you don't know.
It's probably the 15th.
Is Serena Williams playing or not playing?
Not playing.
You don't know that either. Is Djokovic playing or not playing?
Not playing.
You don't know that. Is Murray playing or not playing?
Yeah, he's going to play. For my my sources tell me
So in other words,
he'll be just fine.
So those 2 events that are forthcoming, there's a tournament going on right now. Do I have the scoreboard? Do I have the leaderboard?
No.
All right. Yeah. Why can't you give me the leaderboard?
Well, if you want me to, I could check it out.
Yeah, Tournament of Champions, Kapalua. It's a great golf course. Have you played there before?
Oh, several times, yeah.
Oh, you have?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hack that course up.
Sure.
Did you look for the Yankee Indian 5th inning score that day in May when you played Kapalua?
I'm sure I did.
That's the Haven thing when he kept looking at the scoreboard the whole time.
I think they were playing the Twins that day.
Now, do you have the leaderboard?
My computer is loading here.
Oh, it
You
is,
got to give me a minute.
So those
I had
two,
to log on.
Now, is there an NBA game? Did you watch Cleveland and Boston last night?
Very little. Very little. My son had a basketball game, Luke.
Oh, how's he playing?
He's not bad. He's actually could shoot.
So he's not bad.
Yeah, he's still small. He hasn't grown yet. That's a big problem. He's tiny. But he's not bad. He gives you an effort.
Good
He had
boy.
about 11 points last night.
Oh, that's very good.
Played pretty well.
Where a game in Brewster?
Brewster, yeah.
That's a long way for you to go from your house.
20 minutes.
Wow.
8:20 start. Those games. But it's great. There's running times. There's 20-minute halves, running times. Last 2 minutes, they stop the clock in each half. So you're out of there in an hour. Bang. Adios.
You got home at 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
Okay, very good.
Yeah, it was good.
Austin Cook is leading the golf tournament.
Good job, Eddie.
Is he on the 6th hole? Wherever he might be. All right. We had a basketball game last night, too, and I ran to Greenwich. I missed the first quarter where they were scoreless. New Canaan drops an 8-point game to the Cardinal of Greenwich. New Canaan can't throw the ball in the ocean.
Well, you told me they're much improved.
I thought so. I appears right now that last year's team would have beat this year's team by 50, and last year's team only won 4 games. So right now,
will you qualify for postseason
I'm
play?
not sure after last night. Didn't like what I saw. So
How many games have they played?
They're 2-3. So I didn't like what I saw last night. So from that standpoint, I'm not so sure. Rough year. Boy, I tell you, there's a curse over in Buchanan basketball. Even the head coach can't get it lifted. It's amazing. Anyway, make a long story short.
We're confident he's going to get that thing turned around.
Years down the road. Anyway, we did that. And Colin still got this bad back.
What's going on? How's he healing? Is the healing process coming along?
He says he still feels it. So
is he
January
doing,
16th he goes back. He's gotten to PTE. He goes to some physical therapy.
Does he have a chance to suit up at any point this year?
I would say at the moment, no.
Really?
Yep.
Jeez, that stinks.
Terrible.
Sorry to hear that.
I hate it. I feel bad for the kid. But anyway, it's part of sports. You play it. You got to, you get hurt. You get hurt. What are you going to do?
Unfortunately.
But I'm looking for a sport for you.
Well, you found one.
Now, I know you're good with the politics and the history of presidencies and all that stuff. I think maybe it's time to go back there for a little bit.
Yeah.
And stir the mind. How do you do that? You want to do that?
No, not at all.
And
actually.
Jefferson Davis was?
Look, Cook has slipped to -2 through 7. This is a crappy leaderboard. You're telling me there's big names on this?
Well, you know
there's
why?
Nobody here. I haven't heard of half of these guys.
Steve, it's players who won an event last year. That's you don't get in if you didn't win an event last year.
No, I don't think anybody's talking about it.
Well, hold on. Now. Give me some players. There's got to be somebody on the board that we've heard of. Go ahead. Give me the names.
Let's see. D.A. Points.
All right, I've heard of him. Go ahead.
Okay. Duffner we've heard of.
All right, sure.
He's even.
All right.
There's really not a lot of big names, not a lot of household names.
Well, it started 20 minutes ago.
Well,
it's the
you
first
were making
day.
it seem like this was the thing to watch, and everybody was talking about it.
Oh, God. Anyway, what's going on in sports? I need to know anything today?
Well, Tiger's going to make his debut at Torrey Pines, you know that, on the 25th of January.
Yes, I do.
Well, Sean McCoy's hoping he can play. I'm sure he will, but whether or not he'll be 100% for the
and
Bills.
they are going to gear and stop him anyway. He will not be a factor in that game.
DeMarco Murray's been ruled out for the Titans.
I did see that. They do have Henry, but that's a big loss.
Warriors and Rockets tonight, top 2 teams in the West playing, but no Durant. He's been ruled out, and obviously Harden's out with a hamstring
Awful.
injury.
Why would you watch?
And no hockey tonight in Boston. The snowstorm has caused a postponement of the Bruins and the Florida Panthers.
All right, the Panthers on a road trip.
Isn't that exciting?
Indeed, we continue. Mad Dog Unleashed.
Mad Dog Unleashed on Sirius and XM Radio.